I guess it was after we'd been together for about a year and a half. She found out in March '08 that she had throat cancer. So when she found that out, it was like something that I couldn't even imagine having to go through for myself, never mind seeing her go through it.
I'm doing really good. I have gone through a lot of surgeries and treatments. Even still, I'm doing that, but the cancer cells are gone.
And you don't expect anything like this to happen in your lifetime, never mind at the age of 24 for her. So I think it definitely was a shock. It was like that. If we had to run through that day again, that day I think both of our hearts stopped when the doctor told us that she had cancer. I think it was one of those moments again that you don't think you're gonna have to go through in your lifetime. And I think when the doctor told her, I think herself and her mom and myself were in the room, and again it's like our heart stopped. And for her moving forward after that point, I don't know if I could have gone through what she's had to go through. She's had over 15 surgeries.
Yeah, it was a huge shock for me, and actually that's one of the reasons why I was just misdiagnosed for so long, was because I was young and healthy and didn't present the right. I wasn't the typical cancer patient, so they actually missed it for probably over a year.
To be with somebody and have them go through this, I think is, there's no words to describe what she has gone through. It's seeing her in the hospital and living the way she had to live, and some of the surgeries that she had, having a feeding tube, and just being in the hospital for weeks on end was something tough. And then her having to go through radiation and seeing the radiation burns.
It was hard for me to just lay in bed all day and not be able to do anything, and I thought I had a little bit of a short fuse for a while. But it takes a long time. Like, I was pretty much in the clear for the cancer cells in April 2009, but I had a feeding tube. I couldn't swallow very well. I couldn't eat. I couldn't keep anything down, so I couldn't really leave the house. I got down to 85 pounds at my rock bottom.
I had no control, and the only thing I could do is be there for her. And there's no words to help her out. There's nothing I can do. I've never been in the situation that she was in, so I think for her, or for me trying to help her, I felt helpless.
Almost kind of treating me like eggshell, like an eggshell. He was really caring and very attentive, but when I'm throwing up nonstop, or when I'm in so much pain that it's like unbearable, it's hard. Like, I don't know, he did a really good job. Like, he never, even if I think even if he couldn't handle it, he never let me show that it was too much for him.
I would like to hope she would think that I was, there for her the best I could, and that I think she would say I was definitely patient with her, because at times she was a little bit, the situation that she had to go through, she was a little tough. But again, for me, just trying to be there for her and let her go through those moments is something that I tried to do.
He never once was like, I need sleep, or have your mom come help, or or this is too much for me. He never backed up. He never took a step back, ever. But it was hard, and when I got my trach, I couldn't wait for it to get out. I was like, get this thing out of me. I don't like it. People stare at me. I sound funny. I slobber, so I always have a Kleenex. And I have coughing fits at random moments. But now I'm so dependent on it to breathe that the doctor's actually talking about taking it out soon. And now I'm having anxiety about getting it out.
She struggled with, where she was in life, and because she was sick, she had to drop out of school.
Like, my life stopped. They told me I had cancer, and I'm like, no, I have a test on Monday. I wanted to be a nurse my whole life. My grandmother was a nurse, which inspired me to be a nurse. And that was another thing that was really hard, because I was the caretaker and the caregiver, not the patient. She still hasn't been able to go back yet, but she's taken her next step in life, and she got back going to the gym this summer. And I knew that, I was going to propose to her at some point in time, but I wanted to let her get as healthy as possible before I did it, so that she'd be okay for the wedding. We're still hopeful she'll get the trach out by the wedding, which is coming up this summer. She's very caring, she's very loving, and she's definitely strong, stubborn at times, a lot of times. But no, she's caring, she's a lot of fun, and try and joke around with her as much as I can to get her to laugh. Everybody has been touched by cancer in some way or form, and this just, for me, goes to show you that anybody could be put in this situation at any given time in life, and it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are, it's there. Seeing these jerseys, not only these jerseys, but just on a regular game, I think it's something that I try not to take for granted anymore, is being healthy, because I've seen her go through what she's gone through, and for myself, I'm reminded by it every day, but I'm thankful that I'm reminded by it every day, because then I don't take anything for granted. And seeing these jerseys is definitely a good sign, and it's great that the Chicago Wolves are trying to do what they can to help raise for a cure. It gives the patient so much hope to know that there is, it gives the cancer patient a lot of hope to know that there's all this support behind them. To see Darren wearing it is, his heart on his sleeve, more or less, because I'm sure it means a lot to him to be a part of the charity events.
And on behalf of our organization, we'd like to present the game puck to another inspirational woman, Sarah.